Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my podcast, Snack Starts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snack Starts. And what is my thought for the night? Well, my thought for the night is concerning paternity fraud. And I don't know if any of you have already heard about it. It's already started in the state of Tennessee, where paternity fraud is now illegal and it is a crime. And I'll say it again, paternity fraud has now become illegal starting in the state of Tennessee. And I believe Michigan is doing something to pass a bill for it, and it's going to spread throughout the United States. But if I were to title this podcast on Snack Starts, yeah, but some of you ladies out there that's on that womb hustle or being slick, the jig is up. And I'm gonna say it again, the jig is up. Tennessee has finally passed that bill. I forgot I don't know if it was bill, was it 2689? I have to check that, but they passed a bill where paternity fraud is now it is a crime and it's illegal. And so mandatory DNA tests will be done upon the birth of the child, and before the father or either the person that the woman says is the father, those men will not be allowed to sign that birth certificate until they have a DNA test done. And so once they have the DNA test done and they verify or prove who the father of the child is, if that man is not the father, he doesn't sign that birth certificate, he's free to go. He goes about his way. And until I guess she can find the random number of suitors that she's slept with or been involved with, those men are free to go. And the reason why I say the jig is up, because for a lot of years, men have had to suffer, behind these child support laws. Some have lost their driver's license, some lost their jobs, houses, careers, you just name it, and even have been given jail time if they couldn't afford to pay. And some of these guys have been innocent, and they have had their lives wrecked and ruined behind a lie or a false accusation by a woman that just said randomly he's the father and throws a guy's name on a birth certificate, or know that she may have slept with a certain number of guys, and the guys that she may have had her fun with, are not responsible. So she doesn't throw his name on the birth certificate. She picks another guy, and that guy's innocent, or some could even get away with just calling a random name of a guy they ain't even been involved with, and just boom, throw it on the birth certificate. And some guys have gotten caught up in this where they've had to pay child support, court ordered, and he had nothing to do with the chick, nothing to do with her, or the child is not his, and I am of the opinion that I think that's fair. Men, generally speaking, have always been held accountable for the decisions that they made, be it good or bad. And they have to live with the consequences of their actions and their decisions. And when you talk about bringing a child into this world, there's a lot a child has to be cared for, love, along with the other support and resources, family getting involved, and this thing has gotten so bad and out of hand that it don't just happen to just random guys, or just guys that's maybe been friends with benefits, or maybe dating a girl and she's been cheating, having a hot girl summer, or whatever you want to call it, but this is also happening to married men. Men that have been married to their wife for years, and then what'll happen, something will come up where the kid may need a blood transplant, or a donor, maybe kidney or something like that, and they find out that the kid is not theirs, and then or they find out all the kids are not theirs. You see what I'm saying? Or a good percentage are not. I got family members that this has happened to. Married to someone for years. And find out that only one was theirs. The others were not. So this is something that I happen to know about, and I know in my family it's not the only one or guys that this has happened to, and it's unfortunate. But the jig is up. And I'm not talking about all women, but for these women that are doing this, it's like it's time out, for that. You know who you've been with and who you've laid down with, and if you cannot, if you have to pin a baby on another man because you can't afford to take care of it by yourself, then maybe you ought to use birth control or some form of protection, or maybe, choose, make better choices in the men that you choose to have fun with or you choose to get involved with. Because it's one thing for you ladies to have your fun, but then if offspring is produced, out of this, now you brought another innocent life into a messy world, and somebody has to be responsible. And every person that is born on the face of this earth has two biological parents, a mother and a father. And that's wrong to do that and cause a domino effect and chain of events in that man's life if that child is not his. Now, if that child is his, by all means, he should sign a birth certificate and take care of that child because that is yours. But if it's not, that's a raw deal. And this is happening at every class level, So, it's happening to the rich guys, to the brokest, and some of these women, are trifling with a capital T, And so what I would say is like, hey, for you dads, or you uncles, if you got nephews, you got sons or whatever, your cousins, school them on the game, and tell them, do not sign that. Don't put your name on that birth certificate until you have had a DNA test done, in order to protect them, and for the ladies, for the good women out there, for mothers, if you got sons, protect your sons. Tell them the deal. You know how women function and how they operate. Hip them to the game. Tell them, do not sign that birth certificate until you get a DNA test done to be sure, that is their child and that's your grandchild. And that's only fair. And most women are not going to be happy, if they find out that they thinking the grandkid is theirs and they find out years later that their son has been taking care, of another man's baby and it turned out not to be theirs. And the sad part about it is that once your son or your nephew, whatever like that, your brother, whatever like that, signs that birth certificate, and if he's been taking care of that child for any length of time, even if you get a DNA or paternity test done after the fact, then the court or legal system is still going to hold him accountable to continue paying for that child, even though it's not his. So mothers, please, ladies, don't push another man's kids on your son. I've seen some Jerry Springer type stuff where, some women, saying their sons are young and even got a chance to start their life yet. And they find out that the girl was wrong and that she lied and that the kids ain't his, and they still, oh, baby, it's going to be all right, and still want to push their son, to take care of someone else's children. Don't do that, to your boys. Somebody's got to look out for the boys and look out for the men, But, and here are some of the consequences that are going to happen, for these women that's been lying. It's starting in the state of Tennessee. If they find out that women have committed paternity fraud, what's going to happen? She has to pay back. She's going to be levied with debt. She has to pay back every dime of that money that she took from that man. I know she got to pay the state back. I think she has to pay him back. And then I don't know exactly how much jail time that these women are going to get, but it is going to be a crime, and it's going to be jail sentences handed out, for these women lying, on these men. You know what I'm saying? And think about men that's incarcerated right now behind child support for children that's not even theirs through false accusations. You know? So, you know, you ladies got to make, just like men got to be accountable for this, for their decisions, you have to be accountable for yours, and most women, they know who they laid down with. It is what it is, but if you don't like the suitors, if you don't think that they're responsible enough to have a baby by, then why are you sleeping with them in the first place? Number two, you know, stop the womb hustle or the womb trap. Some women, they want to try to manipulate or finagle a man into a relationship when you know that this man didn't want to be in certain types of relationships with you anyway. But, some want to try to force him in. I'm saying? Hey, if that man doesn't want to be in a serious relationship with you, then you can kill that. Cut it off, to begin with. That man is not meant for you. That's not your man. That's not your husband. You cannot manipulate a man into a boyfriend relationship. You can't manipulate a man even into a sexual relationship. With guys, it's cut and dry. You cannot manipulate a man into loving you or wanting to be in a long-term relationship or a marriage with you. So it's like having a baby by him, or trying to trap him with a baby. It's dumb, to be honest with you. It's foolish. It's not going to work. You ladies have to cut your losses. If that's not the guy, he's not feeling you like that, and that's just not your dude. You have to chalk it up as a loss, let it go, and try to find, either try to find somebody else, and some of you ladies may have to be realistic in your choices and have to downgrade. In the dating market, in the marriage market, we can't always get what we want. So if you got to manipulate or scheme to try to get somebody into said position for whatever reason, whether it's for their resources, whatever like that, then that means that you don't really need to have them. That's not for you. But I have a son and a nephew, and they got bright futures ahead of them, and I don't want any woman womb hustling my son or my nephew, or trying to baby trap, or trying to get a soft girl life, off of the back of my son, or my nephew. I want the best for my son or my nephew. I want somebody that wants to be with them because they love them and they're gonna ride or die with them. They really are down for them and they're loyal. It is what it is, So the day of reckoning has come and the chickens have come home to roost. And now that there will be accountability, because this is going to spread. Like I said, Michigan is already working on this. The Senate is already working on something in Michigan, and it's going to spread to other states where paternity fraud will be a crime. So now if you lie, you will be held accountable. So now that there's consequences for said actions, you ladies better think twice, about what you're doing. Think twice about it, but like I'm gonna say it again, saying, hey, fathers, hip your sons to the game. Tell them don't sign that birth certificate until they get a DNA test. I don't care what she says. She could say, oh, baby, I love you. I'll never cheat on you. And I'm sorry to say, some women are loyal, and unfortunately, some are not. According to these, the census got the test out, found out that 32 to 40% of the DNA tests have proven that men are not the fathers. Like at least a third of men are taking care of kids that are not even theirs. So a third, these fathers, they're not even the fathers of these kids. So that ought to tell you somebody lying somewhere. And mothers, like I said, look out for your sons. Sisters, look out for your brothers. Don't let these trifling women get over, and use your sons, your cousins, your nephews, Speak up and say something, hip them to the game. Tell them don't sign that birth certificate without DNA test. It is what it is. But that's all I have on this one, But the chickens have come home to roost. All you chicks that said you boss babes and you said, you know what I'm saying, I know y'all use the other word, and y'all said that y'all strong and independent, you don't need no man. Well, guess what? You know what I'm saying? You got what you asked for, and those that have ran your mouth and you said you don't need one, well, now you ain't going to have one. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do it, you got to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? For everything, there is a cost. Even if you get a man that can afford to give you a soft girl life where you don't have to go to work, those men are still going to have requirements. There's nothing that's free. If you get a rich man, you get a guy in the upper middle class. I don't care what class level you get, but if you get those in that are rich in the upper class, in the upper middle class, they are still going to have requirements. You're going to have to pay something, and it's due time to tell it like it is. You know, you ladies can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. You know, you're going to have to give up something. You know, if you don't want to be a wife, you know what I'm saying, and submit to your husband, then why get married? Why bother? You know what I'm saying? You know, stay single. You know, don't enter into somebody's life, you know what I'm saying, just to mess it up and make them miserable. You know, if you're going to do it, you know what I'm saying, go in for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I know marriage is hard enough as it is, you know what I'm saying? But at least start off on the right foot and go in for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? You probably have a better chance of it lasting and working. But either way, there is going to be a price or a cost. You know, to be a husband or a wife to somebody, it's going to cost you something. So neither party gets away scot-free. It's give and take, you know, from both. You know, you can't expect to get everything from one partner and the other one doesn't give anything. It doesn't work that way. If you're going with that mindset, then you don't need to be married. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Stop the womb hustle. You know what I'm saying? Stop the womb hustle. You know, and hey, make better choices in the guys that you're fooling around with. You know what I'm saying? If you know he ain't about nothing, then protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to manipulate these guys into being in relationships with you when you know that they don't want the same thing. It is what it is. But that's all I got to say on this one. And the name of this podcast is Snacks Thoughts, SNAKZTHOUGHT, Snacks Thoughts. And you can find this podcast on Acast, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, and a host of other social media platforms. And I also have a YouTube channel, Eric Brothers YouTube. That's ERICBROADUS, YouTube. And so please also subscribe, you know, to my YouTube channel. I do anything from military content, philosophical, some travel. I mean, a host of content, you know, on my YouTube channel. So please share Snacks Thoughts, share Eric Brothers YouTube, push it out, share it with rats, bats, dogs, cats, hey, you know, goats, whatever. Share it. Push them out, guys. But I thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you on the next one. But again, on this episode, the jig is up. Paternity fraud is now a crime. Peace out, guys. Catch you on the next one. Later.